It's the final game week of the season. That means one last deadline, one last captain, and one last chance to change your rank. Mini leagues are going down to the wire, and with every game kicking off at the same time, chaos is guaranteed. Now let's get into it. Hi everyone, welcome back to FPL Fix for the last game week of the season. My name's James, and as always, I'm joined by Patrick.
Hi everyone, it's the final game week of the season. One last chance to change your rank, chase down your mini leagues, and hopefully finish the season off strong. Deadline is tomorrow at 2:30 PM and every single game kicks off at 4. So we should be expecting some leagues before the deadline, which could be massive with rotation expected everywhere.
Okay, so here's the breakdown. Game week 38 has always been chaos. A lot of teams have nothing left to play for, managers rotate randomly, some players will get surprise benchings, and we usually see a big increase in goals across the league.
Yeah, and a lot of it will come down to motivation and what teams have to play for. Arsenal have already wrapped up the title now, so there's always a chance Arteta makes some changes away to Palace. City have nothing to play for against Villa, Liverpool and Brentford are fighting for which European competition they will be in next season, and Chelsea still need points if they want to qualify for Europe. So there are definitely some teams we can still target. The other massive factor is leagues, and because all the games kick off together, we should expect some team news before the deadline. So don't lock your team in too early this week.
Yeah, especially with most managers owning players from Arsenal and Man City, and other players where minutes are uncertain, one leak could completely change your captaincy or transfer plans. And one thing we always say in Game Week 38 is don't overthink it too much. This is usually a high scoring week. Prioritise attackers, back players with penalties and good minutes, and don't take unnecessary hits for defenders unless you really need to chase rank. Okay, we're going to cover captaincy quickly before we move on to our favourite punts this week. If people are confident, or if we get leaks that Haaland starts, then he's definitely going to be popular. It's Pep's last game at City, and it's their last home game of the season. Villa will still be partying and won't care too much about this match after winning their Europa League.
Yeah, outside of Haaland, it's got to be Bruno Fernandes. He's so consistent, and even though Man United have nothing left to play for in the league, the team will be desperate to help Bruno get the one more assist needed to break the record.
This is one of the most open weeks for captaincy this season though, so if you want to go different, then you should. Whether you're chasing in your mini league, not happy with your rank, or just want to have fun this week, then we're about to cover a few final week punts, and any of them can be given the armband if you have the confidence to back them.
Okay, let's have a look at them now, and I've got 10 to go through, who are mostly outside of the template. These are some of the highest upside picks for the last week of the season. We're going to start in defence, and clean sheets are quite rare on the last day of the season, so we've not listed too many here, but we're going to go through our top 2. First up is Van Dijk. Now, I don't really expect Liverpool to keep a clean sheet this week, but Van Dijk's attacking threat and goal contributions lately have been immense. He's shown his potential, and Liverpool should be close to full strength, given they need a point to lock in the Champions League spot.
Yeah, and Mavropanos is the other one I like this week. West Ham will be as motivated as they can be for this game, and up against Leeds who have nothing to play for. There's a slight chance of the clean sheet here, but if West Ham do need to score, then he'll probably be pushed up quite a bit, and he's shown his aerial threat recently as well.
On to midfielders now, and the first one to cover is Bruno Fernandes. He's been Newcastle's best player this season, and Newcastle should be motivated to finish ahead of Sunderland. He picked up DEFCON last time out, and was unlucky not to be involved in the goals as well. I did make the mistake of captaining him last week, but I expect him to do well in this game.
The next midfielder we've gone with is Szoboszlai. He's shown his ability all season, and he's picked up 24 points in his last 3 games. He has the motivation like we said earlier, he'll be on almost all the set pieces and will be on penalties for any time Salah isn't on the pitch. He's a great option this week.
The third midfielder we've gone with is Enzo Fernandes. He's been by far Chelsea's best player recently, and his minutes should be nailed. He's in great form and full of confidence, so even though it won't be easy away to Sunderland, he has potential to score points.
Our last midfielder pick is Crescencio Somerville. He's not the most consistent player, but he can be explosive, and West Ham will be going all out to score in this fixture. He's had 3 double-digit returns this year, and real potential at extremely low ownership, especially given the importance of this game.
Let's move on to forwards now, and this one's wide open. Richarlison is first. He's fully motivated and isn't a stranger to relegation scrap. He's got 3 attacking returns in his last 4 games and has been really consistent since Solanke got injured again, and the team has been relying on him even more. The only caveat is that De Zerbi did state that Solanke is available for the next game, so it's not guaranteed who starts up front.
Yeah, and on the other side of the relegation battle, Bowen is one of the favourites this week. He's the West Ham talisman, and he's got so many routes to points. He's on penalties, he's the creator for the team, and he even gets DEFCON points sometimes. If West Ham do get anything out of the game, then Bowen is more likely than anyone else to be involved.
Next we've gone with Osula, who scored 5 goals in his last 6 games as a frontman for Newcastle. He seems like the first choice for them at the moment, and he's in really good form. He could be a big player in the last week of the season.
The last forward we've gone with is another big differential, and it's Burnley's Flemming. Burnley play at home against the only team worse than them as they take on Wolves. Flemming's Burnley's main goal threat and most talismanic player. It wouldn't be a surprise to see him score in this one. And honestly, this is the week to take a few risks. If you're behind in your mini leagues, there's no point playing it safe now. You need to go high risk, high reward. Pick 2 or 3 players you genuinely think can explode and back them, because once those games kick off on Sunday, it's all out of your hands. Okay, time for a quick look back at Gameweek 37 before the final team reveals of the season. I scored 56 points, which just about beat the average, but did get me a big red arrow. I'm glad I've just about stayed in the top 40k though. I sold Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who literally scored in the last minute, to bust my double Brighton clean sheet, and the player I bought in to replace him, Gyökeres, only scored 1 point after being benched. The only player who did well for me was Ismail Assar with his goal and 7-pointer. My captain Gabriel scored 6, but that wasn't enough when all the other popular captains outscored him, like Bruno, Haaland and Saka. It wasn't the best week, but with just 1 week to go, I'm hoping to hold on to a top 50k finish. How did you get on?
I scored 57 points this week and also got a red arrow. I would have done quite well if I hadn't taken a risk on captaincy. I made 2 transfers. Lewis Skelly was a flop with 1 point after he didn't start, but Saka did really well with 10 points. I wish I would have captained him. I went with Bruno G instead, who's been in great form, and with Newcastle scoring 3, I was gutted he wasn't involved in the action. Only 4 points from my captain in the end, and it's been a bit of a rough end to the season, but 1 week left, so I'm hoping to go out with a bang.
Right then, it's time for the final team reveals of the season, but in my case it's not going to be that exciting because any moves I make will be based on team leagues we get on Sunday. I'm 4 points behind the leader in my mini league and I've got a 9-point buffer on the top 50k, so I'm looking at taking a risk or 2 this week, even with only 1 free transfer. My bust team is on screen, but I wouldn't count on it looking like that when it gets to the deadline. I've got triple Arsenal and triple City, so rotation could cause me real issues. If any of my players look like missing out, then I'll be looking at the punts we talked about earlier, and maybe even captaining one of them. Bit of an anticlimactic team reveal, but that's all I've got for now. How's your team looking?
Yeah, I'm in a pretty similar position to be honest, with my triple Arsenal and double City. With all the expected rotation, it makes it really tough. I'm playing my triple Brighton even though they all let me down last week. I'm giving Bruno Fernandes the armband like I should have done last week to be honest. James Hill will start for me and everything else is really up in the air and will depend on any late team news we get. This will be the most important week of the season for any early team news we get, so make sure you're checking as close as you can to the deadline.
That's 38 videos completed and the full season is accounted for. This is our last game week preview of the season. Want to give a thanks to all our viewers for coming along for the ride every week, it really means a lot. And that's all for this one. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you found it useful, it really helps us out.
Yeah, and you can follow us on X, our weekend fix for any last minute tips and updates before the deadline.
Thanks again for watching, good luck in Game Week 38 and we'll see you next week for our end of season recap and our last video of the campaign.